To learn to live the off-grid lifestyle and to be inspired to live your dreams, click subscribe so you don't miss anything. Click the bell notification. It's all free. So a few weeks ago, I showed you that we were collecting walnuts from our 3 big walnut trees. Well, actually, I guess we got 4. So we dehulled them. I showed you how to dehull them. Then we had to let them dry out for a couple weeks after we got them all dehulled and cleaned up. We got bags of them. I think we got 6 or 7 bags of these. This one's been chewed on quite a bit. We ate quite a bit out of these. So now we're getting nuts out of them. We're pretty excited. And all you got to do is just take a little hammer. Now I know you can buy a cracker, but these are black walnut. They're very tough. Some of the nut crackers that they sell are like $100 for these things. They're outrageously expensive. Doing it on camera, I threw it all over the place. But then you get your nuts out of there, and then you get this awesome goodness. Well, that was a lot of fun. It takes a little effort, of course, but there's just something to it. You know, we collected them off the trees and was able to haul them, and then we got to dry them out and clean them up, and then we get to crack them open and eat them, and they're really good. I mean, they're the best walnuts I've ever had. And I know. I hear it all the time. It's so much easier just to go to the store and buy a bag of walnuts. They're already cracked. You don't have to do anything. I get that a lot. It reminds me of a video I made, a while back now, talking about the shortages that are going on and the government's lying to us. And I'll put a link to that video at the end of this video, right on the screen. I don't know what side of the screen it's on. One side or the other of my face here. It'll pop up. Just click that. I'd appreciate it. That way you'll know what I'm talking about. Also, it helps the algorithm understand that you like this video because you're willing to go watch another video. So in the video, I was talking about canning and just all kinds of different things. And it's just so much easier to go do this, and it's just so much easier to go do this. We've become a society of it's just easier. We have forgotten how to take care of ourselves because somebody else is going to do it. This firewood I'm standing by right now is a perfect example of that. This was a lot of work. The last place we went to, it was on a massive slope, just huge. And I had to carry each log up I bet it was 200 yards up this hill. It was a lot of work, and it was hard work. And I'm getting to the age where I'm not in the shape to do that kind of stuff. But I did it. It was free firewood. It was close by. And then, of course, you got to come home and split it. Now, I will admit, Carolyn split it this last load, with this last lot, or what do you want to call it? Pretty much this whole section right here, not the whole wall here, just, it's hard to show you, but she split all that with a manual log splitter. We don't have a gas-powered log splitter. We've talked about it. We've just chosen not to get one. It's a lot of work. And it has come to my attention that people aren't willing to put in that kind of work. The American people have become, I don't want to say lazy. I think they just have forgotten that we can do things on our own. I get comments all the time that says, well, what are you going to do about chickens in the wintertime? What do you mean, what are you going to do about chickens in the wintertime? What did Laura Ingalls and her father do with the chickens in the wintertime? There was a time in our past when people just raised chickens and nobody even questioned the winter. Chickens are okay in the winter. That's just, so we have just forgotten. Talk about canning a lot, and boy, every time I talk about canning, it's gotten to the point now where what used to be natural, what people did all the time was canning, is now gotten a warning label if you talk about it. Not only have we gotten to the point where we have forgotten how to do it, we've gotten to the point where it's taboo to do. Something that is fun to do. Canning is fun. It's a lot of work. There's such pride in obtaining your own food. You know, when we raised our chickens, or if you grow a garden, or if you hunt, and then you can it yourself and preserve it. To me, there's something really neat about that. I really like it. It's a sad world that we've gotten into where the microwave is our meal now. We go to the frozen freezer section, we buy an expensive piece of garbage, processed food, we throw it in the microwave, we eat it, we call that a home-cooked meal. It reminds me of Star Trek. Star Trek, you know, they have these replicators, appears in this little cubby hole. Now, we've gotten to the point almost where we don't even have to do anything but talking to a computer and we get our food. We don't know how to do much more than easy. I built this tiny house all by myself. Carolyn helped me lift one wall and she helped me put the shower together. That's all she did. I did it all by myself, and I did it on purpose. I wanted to show, I actually felt guilty that I had her help me with the first wall, because after that I realized that I wanted to do it myself so I could show folks that it could be done. Now, am I a master carpenter? No. Have I ever built a house before? No. So all the things that I was being told, well, you can do that because you're healthy, or you can do that because you know how, you can do that because of, you know, just a million different reasons why I could do it, but they couldn't. No, I'm just an average guy that really had no idea what he was doing. And I built a very solid home. I'm very proud of this house. I recognize I was able to do it without a lot of code restrictions. Well, there's your advantage, Rob. You did it not according to code. Well, that was the whole point in building a tiny house, or at least a major point of building a tiny house, was so I didn't have to follow code, because I didn't know what I was doing, but I wanted to do it myself. Not because it was easy. I wanted to be able to save tons of money. So easy gets us into codes. Easy gets us into high debt. Easy gets us into foreclosures. Easy is not so easy when you really think about it. I tell you something I'm a big advocate on, but I don't like talking about it much because it gets me in trouble with the viewers and with YouTube, is doctors and medication. A big naturalist. My grandpa was a chiropractor and a naturalist. To me, they're just drug pushers. They're in business with Big Pharma, and Big Pharma just pushes out the drugs. And I've seen doctor after doctor after doctor make a decision to make money over taking care of the patient. I've seen it. Now, doctors will take in a patient, and instead of trying to figure out what's wrong with them, they figure out what they can push drugs onto. Carolyn has severe back issues. I mean, it's pretty bad. So she goes to a doctor. Doctor says, go to physical therapy. So she goes to physical therapy. It's working. Well, she goes back to the doctor later, and the doctor says, well, how about we take you to pain management? And she says, okay, whatever you say, doc. So she misses the appointment because it was snowing. So she has to go back to her doctor to reschedule. For whatever reason, they wouldn't take her in without the doctor saying so. Well, the nurse practitioner was there, not the doctor, and she says, why are you going to pain management? Why not just go back to physical therapy if that was working? And she said, well, the doctor told me to. And the nurse practitioner says, all you're going to do is put you on painkillers. That's it. So the doctor just wanted to make money from the painkillers. That's all he wanted to do. He didn't want to try to figure out how to fix her like the physical therapy was actually fixing her. So the nurse practitioner said, just go home and do the physical therapy on your own. And Carolyn does that all the time now, and she's in a lot better shape than she used to be. She still has back issues, but it was work. It's not easy. It's doctors. So when I talk about prescriptions versus vitamins is something that you got to take. I mean, I take vitamins every day. Garlic is my big one. Let's just talk about garlic. Garlic I have to take every day to prevent infections, specifically sinus infections. Now, this is not medical advice because I can't tell you how to do medical advice. I'm not a doctor. I know what's good for me. But what I hear all the time is, hey, I got this or I got that. What kind of vitamin can I take to get rid of it? No, it doesn't work that way. You have to take your vitamins every day. It's not easy. You got to do it every day. I got to take my garlics every day. If I decide that I'm going to wait until I have a sinus infection, then I'm going to have to go to a doctor so they can give me drugs. But it's just not easy to remember to take your vitamins every day. And it's tough. Some days I'll be laying in the bed, starting to get late, I'll doze off, and I won't have taken my vitamins. I always take my vitamins before I go to bed. If I wake up in the middle of the night, I think, oh man, I forgot my vitamins, and I'll take my vitamins. Or if I get them in the morning and I realize I didn't take them last night, I get up and take them. It's something you have to do. It's not easy, but you got to do it. Raising animals. I just grew up with. I knew how to do it. I don't mind doing it. They're kind of fun. Instead of raising a dog or a cat or a pet, I got chickens. They're quite entertaining. I enjoy having them around. And they provide me food. So instead of just spending money on my dog, I get to spend money on my chicken, and it pays me back. On my poll question the other day, I asked the question, does raising livestock cost more than going to the grocery store? And overwhelmingly, people said, yeah, it costs more. Well, I don't even understand that. What do I spend? $15 a month on the chickens for chicken eggs. Give me 14 eggs a day, or at least they will. Well, can I eat 14 eggs a day? Well, I could if I tried real hard. which is reducing the amount of peanut butter I eat for lunches. And then we look at it just direct cost and we say, okay, well, I don't need 14 eggs a day. I can sell eggs, $2 a dozen. So 7.5 dozen eggs later, which I can get pretty quick, I'll have enough to pay for the chicken food. So how's it more expensive? Well, people say it's more expensive because they don't even remember how to do it. We've gotten so accustomed just going to the grocery store, picking up our processed food from the freezer aisle, putting it in the microwave, that we don't even realize that raising chickens is just so inexpensive. Well, the coop hardly cost me anything. I was able to build out a scrap. I don't even think I got $100 in the coop. As that video suggests, I think we're getting to a time where we're all going to have to start thinking about getting back to the basics, where we're having to think about preserving our own foods and canning our own foods. And today's canning is so much safer than it was even when I was a kid. I told you about that in a previous video. There's technology available now, if we want to talk about easy, that tells us how to do these things safely. It's on YouTube and Google. It really is sad how many times I hear every day, well, there's an easier way, which requires spending tons of money and having someone else do it for you. The Roman Republic, if you know anything about history, failed when things got easy. Things are going to fail here because everything's gotten easy. At some point, we're all going to say, well, I don't even want to go to work anymore. I just want it easy. And then we're not going to have anything easy. We'll have to start over. And we'll have to go back to the primitive stuff, just like they did. If you'll click that video, I'd really appreciate it. It tells the algorithm that you like this video, and you're going to learn a little bit about the shortages. So I hope I can inspire you to stop looking for easy and start looking for happiness. Thanks for watching.